wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just this gown? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending my songs to the phone, dreaming of a better home, while focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft. I hope that we just let this last. I don't know if the earth is painted blue.
That was Watson with Outside on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made, EZ Bluez is in the building. Easy, you give better introductions than I do. Please introduce this awesome guest that we have today at Behind the Brand.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to tell you right now, it has been an absolute honor and a privilege to know this man for, I think, 2 years now? Maybe 3, I don't know. Time doesn't exist anymore. COVID-19, 3 years. See, even correcting me in the thing. 3 years now, and to have the honor and privilege to wake up to some of the best jazz runs I have ever heard, done so frequently. It's just absolutely amazing. He is an actor. He is an activist. He is amazing. He's got the best damn promo game in the history of promo games. Singer, songwriter, and just incredible talent and human being, Myles Tripp. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Oh, gosh, I don't even know how to say anything after that. I am going to have to hire you and take you with me. I want that as an introduction forever. Thank you. That was
no
awesome.
problem.
Oh my
this
goodness.
Is getting recorded, so you can actually just have it and play it next time you walk out somewhere. Just
there we go. That works. Thank you so much. It is a joy to be here. Hello, everyone. My name is Myles Tripp. I am a whole world to explore, so come on and take this journey with me.
Love it. Now, go ahead, Preston. Yeah, no, you're the journalist again. I'm supposed to be cute and funny. That's my job. I get it.
Stop you on the road, brother. I don't want to stop you on the road. Said you woke up to jazz easy. Like, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, like it's absolutely amazing. And what's one of the most fantastic things out there, and just the humbleness.
Gotcha.
Because I've actually been a fan for the 3 years. I've just been quiet about it because I'm like waiting for them to just be like, hey, by the way, I'm dropping ridiculous singles. What have you been done lately? No, not at all. Like, always supportive, always fantastic. You know, even when I'm doing like crazy music crap in the basement, you know, it's never like, you know, I should just come in here and steal the show, because he could, you know. It's just absolutely amazing. So Myles, what inspired you to take it? Like, so many people are so terrified to be 100% themselves. And it's one of the things that I respect and I love about you so much is, like, no matter what, this is who you are. This is who you are at 2:00 in the morning when they won't turn off the damn car alarm. This is who you are when you've had your 8 hours and you're totally refreshed. This is who you are before your morning coffee and after your morning coffee. You know, what inspired you to live 100% just you?
My grandmother.
Awesome.
Amen.
My grandmother, Dr. Alma Larice Anderson Morrison. What a name. But Alma, like, is just the blueprint for how I live, how I breathe, how I sing, how I love, how I chastise, how I do everything. It is literally centrally located around my grandmother. And she taught me what real love is. She taught me what trust looked like. She taught me how to love, how to trust. And I literally, from watching her, I wanted to be just like her. And I said to myself, I promised myself that I would try to amplify what she did times 10. And it's hard. Now listen, it's hard. But I'm trying. And so she is definitely the blueprint. And I would also say there are so many influences that I take from her in so many aspects of my life. But she is the first woman to just, yeah, I could go on. My grandmother.
That's awesome.
My grandmother.
Myles,
Yeah.
please continue. Was your grandma a musician?
My grandmother was not a musician. My grandmother was a singer and a pastor.
Beautiful.
She was the pastor of Miracle Temple Deliverance Center
Mhm.
in New Haven. They were located on Edgewood Avenue for years, and before that, Dixwell Avenue. But my grandmother was the type of woman, 425 pounds of love, built in a 5'5" frame. And anywhere she went, lit up the entire block. It wasn't just the room, her smile, her aura. And then when she would open her mouth and sing, oh my goodness, she would sing from the basement. Like, I mean, just imagine like a Mahalia Jackson and Aretha Franklin type of mix, and you got my grandmother. And I inherited that voice from her and from my grandfather as well. And my dad is a hummer and my mom is a singer as well. So I just grew up with singers all around me, really. And but specifically my grandmother, she was just go hard singer. And then her kids were in groups. My uncle was in a quartet group. My mom and her sisters were on what was that? Starlight or Star Search? Yeah.
Star Search.
Yes, Star Search back in the day. So, there's just been always music around me. And I just picked it up naturally. But in my family, it was you had to sing to be heard. And I just happened to be the loudest of all of them.
What I think is absolutely incredible, and we've actually seen this with a bunch of different guests, whether it be Manny James or Dehan Jean. A lot of their passion and love for music started out in church.
Yes.
Where it had that gospel feel to it. It's fantastic to see. It's amazing to hear, but it's also something that is extremely telling, because it is in that room where a lot of people will try to push to say that there's the most amount of judgment ever. But I've also found that it's where you can be the most free. And as a musician, and especially a singer, that's where you want, because you want to be the voice that stands out, but you want to be the voice that stands out for the right reasons, because you don't want that side eye. Because if Nana pushes over that side eye, you're a little sharp, you're a little flat, and it's a problem. But it's the school that you need to go to. It is that school of hard knocks that I think is absolutely amazing. And I love that is part of your journey as well.
Thank you so much. It really just, for me, was my grandmother one day came to me and she said, because I've been singing since I could talk, and I tell everyone that. And so my grandmother had a storefront church. And from the age of 5 years old, I started leading praise and worship. Wow. In a storefront church. And then when I was about 12 years old, we left and we moved on over to a non-denominational church that had 2,500 members faithfully every Sunday. And then I started leading praise and worship there. So then it was like I was moving from storefront to doing 2 and 3 services in front of 2,500 people every Sunday. And I was singing in the choir. I sang every part. And then they wanted me in other churches. And then they wanted me to come and preach over here and then sing over here and do. So it was just a lot. I was just rooted. My roots run deep in my spirituality and my relationship, And so that definitely started and still molds the person that I am today and how I operate with love, because there's no other way to operate.
So it's safe to say you were doing your first music tour before the age of 10.
Oh my gosh. You literally, yes. I remember being 9 years old and my dad and my grandmother, like we loaded up a Ford Taurus and we traveled North Carolina, and I was singing at churches. Wow. I would always, my grandmother would take me with her everywhere. So I was her token soloist to sing the sermonic solo before she got up to preach. And so I was always with her. And then it did get to a point where she would be doing her own thing and handling the church. And then I would have to tip out because they wanted me to go sing somewhere else. And then after that, I got into school, and then theater started to bleed and ooze into my life. And everyone was like, this kid is so theatrical. We've got to get him on stage. And then it was just like a trickle down effect, honestly.
And way to pick up the segue before I was even was hinting on that aspect. I was literally going to say, so, how did you find the transition from church to theater? But, you picked it up already. So feel free to interview yourself. We're just here to look cute.
No, I thank you. So there was this woman at the non-denominational church that I was attending for some years who was really interested in doing some stage plays. And she had wrote this play called I Get on My Knees. And I was like, you know what, this will be interesting. Let me see what I can do. And it was between that was my first, I'm in front of a large audience. And so I was like, ooh, this is great. But my first performance before that, I played Baby Bear in Goldilocks and the Three Little Bears.
I know. And I put that in my promo.
Yes.
Just so you know, I did.
Yes, I'm so grateful you did as well. And also, I was able to revive that role. Fast forward almost 20 years later and still play Baby Bear. Why? Because get into this skin. Get into all of this skin, America. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's so I just happened to jump into, theater based off of doing it in church and then doing it outside. My mom would always keep me in the arts. I would be doing photo shoots. My first commercial was for a chiropractor and I was 5 years old. And I was like the little kid getting his wrist checked out. It was really cool. So I had always been in the arts, but I really started to take hold by age 8, 9, by 12, especially being in that larger church and having those people there and that embrace. It was like, this is getting a little addictive. What can I do next? And so then school came and I was like, I graduated high school, but at that time I was also really interested in culinary arts. So I was cooking and I was the school chef's protege. And shout out to Miss Rhonda Deloitte, love you. And she would be the one to always help me. And so the Food Network Chopped came to my school and I got to go on Chopped and cook and everything. And so I had gotten a scholarship to go to Johnson and Wales. And I was going to be a baking and pastry chef until one day I was on the phone with my best friend and he was like, now, you need to be on stage. He's like, I know you love baking, but just check this audition out. Go see these things. And then next thing I knew, I was studying theater and performing arts.
Hold on, I might be living under a rock. Chop came to New Haven.
Wait, say that.
I may be living under a rock, Myles, but Chop, the Food Network show Chop,
yes,
New Haven, Connecticut.
Yes, they did.
That's crazy.
They did. They were doing in 2011. They were doing a schools week. And this was when Michelle Obama was still in office. And so, every first lady has her thing. So she was about healthy eating for students. And my school, along with one other in New Haven, high school in the community, and then 2 others in the US.
That's crazy.
We're recognized for our due diligence in eating green. We grew everything. Shout out to Common Ground High School. We grew everything from start to finish, and so we were always making fresh. Everything was fresh every day.
That's amazing.
And so they had to come check us out.
That's crazy because I did culinary arts when I was in high school, so I went to Platt. And
oh my goodness.
Just managing just the stress at a young amount of age. Because we had to feed teachers. I don't know if you had to feed teachers as well too. We had to feed teachers.
Yes.
We also had to feed the kids during lunch hours. So it was a whole bunch of multitasking all into one. So that is just insane.
That school was, I must admit, they are a little on the fancier side. So we would have breakfast We would have a snack that had to be prepared. We would have a lunch. And then if you were there after school, you still got another snack. And I mean, they were always feeding you and everything was like gourmet and so fresh. And it was just like, wow. And you had to feed everyone. And then you had to do the dishes and then you had to get ready for the next wave. But I mean, it was just like, you know, a rotation. And so I just got used to it, you know, I enjoyed it, you know, but that's the server at heart in me as well, I feel.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like you can attest to that as well.
Absolutely. Just when someone actually tries your food after all the hard work you put into it and just the feeling that they have, that just makes that all that amount of time worth it. It really does. It really does.
Yeah.
Just let's talk about theater and just Broadway again. What were your favorite parts besides Baby Bear?
That I have played are gonna have to be the show called Smokey Joe's Cafe. It's a review. I was able to play Victor in that show, and that was so much fun. The reason why I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it now. The reason why I loved it so much is because only 2 shows I've ever done broke me. And that was the first one. And when I say break me, I mean really, there's one thing in theater to feel like you've got it and like, you know, it's here, it's coming. And then it's another thing when something clicks. And something really clicked in that show for me. And I know it has to do with, I had this professor who knew I was great. Let's just call it a thing. You know, they knew that I was, you know, a good singer, performer, and all this stuff, but they would always push me to do better. And they had a favorite saying, and their saying was, "I don't believe you. I don't believe you." And it would break me every single time. And that's all I kept hearing that entire show. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Until I really had to go to a different place. And I remember the one time, it was like one of the last rehearsals before the show opened. And I was like, okay, I got something for you. You don't believe me? I'm gonna show you. And by the end of that, I looked up and I came to, because I really did travel somewhere else. And I came to, and when I say they were snot-nosed crying, I was like, ha, checkmate. Because I had really felt that, oh, okay, something clicked. I got it, you know? And between that show and I also played Caliban in The Tempest. And that broke me in a different way. That allowed me to relate to being emotionally available and present for someone or something and not feeling that in return. And that was just like the reality of the roller coaster that we call love and dating and courting. And so that was just so amazing to me as well. And so those 2, I would say, really broke me. Now, roles I've been able to have fun with, I would say definitely my entire time and career working in entertainment for Walt Disney World. That was fun. Being able to bring joy to people everywhere, that was a lot of fun. So I'm grateful for that as well. Yeah.
Did you play any iconic Disney characters?
I was friends with iconic Disney characters. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Some great friends. I made some great friends in Disney.
I find it extremely interesting, especially Smoking Joe's. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It's one of the first plays that was based off of Motown's hits, correct?
It did have a lot of it. I think there were about another one too that came along shortly as well. But yeah, it's just like an entire musical review of amazing hits, like BJ Crosby sings Fools Fall in Love. Victor got to sing I Who Have Nothing. And that song still to this day, I get goosebumps just thinking about it, because it's like, what a song. There is a Rose in Spanish Harlem. I mean, there was so many songs that we sang. Young Blood. Oh my goodness, so many. And yes, they're all just hits. And
Mhm.
really, I felt that show, I would have done it another run if they would have allowed me to. I would have done it another run, because they always say in theater that by the time you get to closing night, that's when you're ready to open. And
Pretty
because you've
much.
gone through all the kinks and the twists and the turns, and the audience, you've had enough time to work with different types of audiences as well. So you're able to gauge what you should and shouldn't do. And you've just really got an overall great feel about what you're doing, by the
Mhm.
time
Bit
closing
about
night
you,
rolls
Miles,
around.
on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven with myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made EZ Bluez is in the building for Behind the Brand. We got Myles Tripp in the building. I hope I didn't stop your thoughts, but please
No,
continue about that amazing answer you were giving us on this program. Go right ahead, sir.
thank you.
Very
So
well.
you really, I guess, just get to a point in the theater where they always tell you, first of all, everything that you do should be organic and it should feel fresh and new every time.
Mm.
And so that was something that really stuck with me in theater and how I approach it as well. And so I think that keeps me grounded,
Mm.
especially, and as well as hearing "I don't believe you" in the back of my head
Mhm.
every 5 minutes or so. It works for me.
No,
And yeah,
it's so true. There was the story about Metallica when they recorded their record with Rick Rubin. He wouldn't even show up for
mm,
some of the recording aspects. There would just be a cardboard cutout of him standing there with his arms crossed, and it said, "Now impress me."
yeah,
And it's those little things that motivate us. And I sometimes say it's that conscience, that Jiminy Cricket, like, you can do better, you can push harder. Now, don't get me wrong, that little son of a gun can also drive you absolutely insane, and have you crying into your Lipton's iced tea the next day. Don't get
yeah.
me wrong. And when I say Lipton iced tea, I mean probably Southern Comfort, but it's understandable.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is a connection that, artists of all sorts have with audience members. But I
Mm.
always tell my students that I vocal coach or teach with acting as well. I always tell them audience members come to be had, so have them. And
Mhm.
that's one of the biggest things that I do and use for myself as well, because one of my mottos that I faithfully live by is that intention kills everything.
Mm.
Intention will kill your flesh. It'll kill laziness. It'll kill lacklusterness. It is just going to completely, if you
Mhm.
have fire lit and a strong intention behind what you want, manifestation is real, folks. It will come. It will come. And so I just always try to be as intentional as possible in everything I do, in everything I do, whether I'm on stage, acting, singing, if I'm writing, whatever I'm doing, intention, because that's going to also see to it that this, it gets put out there, that it comes to fruition, if you will, as well. So, yeah.
Your
It's
album,
amazing.
Recovery, only had 2 songs. Did that come to fruition? Was that originally planned?
You know what was so funny? It started off as 2 and then it moved to 4. And
Mm.
then I was on my friend's balcony
Okay.
and
Mhm.
my niece called me screaming. And I was like, "Is everything okay?" And she was like, "You're the I was like, "What?" Like, what's happening? And I was floored. But honestly,
Yeah.
it came about because Recovery was the EP of a shift in my life,
Mm.
Mhm.
where I was recovering from the loss of my grandmother,
Mm.
recovering from the loss of a best friend, recovering from the just several losses that were coming, whether it was through death or finances, jobs, whatever it was, love life, anything. And I was just in a place where I needed to recover.
Yeah.
And recovery started with just 2. And then I was like, I can't leave this in the middle. I like the artist in me and the teacher and the educator in me is like, we've got the rising action, the climax. I can't leave you at this cliff. I've got to resolve this. So I had to recover. I had to recover. I had to change from being angry and bitter or upset or whatever. I just had to recover from all of those feelings and emotions that I may have been feeling or experiencing at that time. And from that, recovery was birthed. And the original, shout outs to the original album cover, it was a picture on Bandcamp. You can actually see it, but the original art cover is my grandmother and I at my 5th birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. Shouts out to Chuck E. Cheese.
Which I can put on my phone. I see it right now.
You see it? Okay. Yeah. So for everyone listening, listen.
You have a big cake. I see a crown. Your grandma has this amazing smile. I mean, if technology got a little bit better with my camera that I have on my laptop, I would show the picture right now, but I'm seeing it. And I see you having like the time of your life right now.
Yes.
I don't know if it's your house or like a
Chuck E.
nearby
Cheese.
restaurant. It was
Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese, man.
Yes, good old Chuck E.
Best birthday parties I had were at Chuck E. Cheese when I was little.
Oh my goodness. The best, some of the best times. And that was just such a great day. I still can remember it. And always looking up at Chucky with awe, like, this man performs a sold out set every day. How does he do it? I was like, where's his voice? Like, how does he do this?
Yep. It's so interesting that that's actually becomes part of our motivation, because I remember feeling the exact same way of just like, okay, this is making it in life. This dude is working every day, 5 shows a day. Like, he's on point. This is where I need to be, and I'm 8 years old looking at my mom going, okay, so I need to do this, this, and this, right? I need to do that and that and that. And then Fred Savage crushed my dreams. So this isn't about me. Death match, me versus Fred Savage is going to happen. I'll tell you that story later, Myles. Trust me. Okay. It's a fun story.
I look forward to it.
But those are the things that help motivate us. And I'm a huge fan of pop culture. I think pop culture is extremely, extremely important. As much as it builds us up, as much as it destroys us. I even love that in the explanation of writing and finishing the recovery process of the artwork itself, you staged it exactly as an amazing play. You have the exposition, you have the act 2 climax of pain, but then you need that Return of the Jedi. You need, that everything needs to resolve with dancing Ewoks at the end. Because if you can't have dancing Ewoks, what is life really worth living,
Exactly. I had to leave the audience with something encouraging, because you go through the motions, through all 4 songs. And by the end, I needed a resolve. I needed something that was going to say, it's okay. We have recovered and everything will be okay. And that's where Willow came in. And I was just like, oh, Willow, you don't have to weep. You don't have to hang over anymore. Stand up tall, because it's okay. This season's change. They come for a reason, to show us what life can do and what life is capable of. And so I just had to throw that in there, because we are all trees planted by the rivers of water. And so we all need our nourishment, and it's important.
It's amazing.
A positive mindset, Myles.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You talk about adjusting and just like overcoming everything just throughout this broadcast. Coronavirus hit out of nowhere. How did you adjust to this pandemic, since you have had so much going on before COVID, during COVID, and even right now as the pandemic is taking place? How were you able to manage this huge schedule that you have right now with this pandemic?
I had to buckle down and get in a corner somewhere and just really get to it, because I was booked, blessed, and busy. I promise you, pre-COVID, my 2020 was going to be chef's kiss, but Corona came in and was like, where do I put my things? And I was like, and she was like, I'm here and I'm going to be here for a while. Did you not get my email? And I was like, no. I did. You forgot to send it. It's saved in your drafts. Like like, so what do we do? And I really had to buckle down. I knew that I wanted to make music. I was working with Oscar Award winners. I was literally getting ready to go on another tour. Like, I had so many great things that were lined up that are still coming and are still lined up. First of all, let's just say that. But also, I just had to get myself into a place where I had to refine and adjust. And I buckled down and I said, well, this is the time. If I'm not on stage, I might as well hit the pen. It's time to write again. Let's get back to writing. Let's get this music out. Let's see what else we're feeling. What other ventures? I took up management. I manage other artists as well. I'm a scenic artist, so I paint. I started doing home improvements. I'm a hustler, okay? So I'm gonna find something, okay? Because, we had to survive.
Right.
And that's what I had to do, survive.
Well, I wanted to bring something up too, because your personality is so incredible and so amazing that I'm actually somewhat shocked that you're not like a super viral TikTok star. Because I do feel that medium is made for you. We're going to put it out there. If you wanted to do something like that, I know some people, we can do some promotion. It'll be fantastic. It'll be good days.
Yes, let's do it. Listen, I'm all here for it. I would love it. I would love it.
Where I'm at. You know where I live. Like, let's make some of that mad. Let's go.
Let's talk and tick. Okay. All right. I am here for it. Let's do it. I love it. Yeah. I'm
Myles,
always open to that. Yes.
And is vocal coaching difficult through a Zoom class?
You know what? Vocal coaching for me is not difficult through a Zoom class because I feel that the energy I exude oozes through a camera, or at least I hope it does. But I do put my best foot forward when I am on a Zoom call because I know that interaction is missing. But I do utilize Zoom calls as your opportunity for you to really feel the work and do the work, because it's different when you're in the presence of a teacher. Like some students I have that I'm in front of, they second guess themselves when we're in person, and some of the things don't really maybe add up. But then when they are on camera or something, they're like, oh, I just realized that. Oh my goodness, that just clicked, and I'm finding newer ways also to be innovative in the lessons that I do teach and how we find our breath and how we support ourselves and each other. And there's a whole curriculum, and it's interesting, but I definitely wanted to make everyone feel just as valid. Yeah.
How's it feel to break someone out their shell when it comes to your teaching?
I feel so rewarded. Every time I jump on camera, I feel like, oh boy, I hope Lord don't let him hate me. Don't let him, dislike it. I hope that I actually, I do pray and fast for my students and for my lessons. Awesome. I feel that is very important, that the information that I give is very spiritual as well as sensitive. And I also know that someone is entrusting me with their gift. And I want to treat that with the utmost respect and care. And so that's why I pray over each one of my students, their voices. So when things start to click, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, oh my God, you see what I see when we see what we was talking about. Oh my God. All right. Oh. And that is what gives me my energy, and that's the Lord's way, I feel, of sending me my confirmation that it's working, because I love to see those faces light up, and I love to just watch it click as well, because this is something that I've lived and breathed all my life. So I'm gonna know, and once it clicks, you'll know, and then we'll just be working off of so many amazing different things. And the best thing to know about that also is what I tell my students: it's all inside of you. Are a whole world to explore. Everything that you need is in the wheelhouse of you. So all you have to do is pull it out, and it's a muscle. Exercise it. It's going to get stronger. It's going to get better. Yeah.
Since I want to be a student right now, what are some ways to keep your voice? I'm trying to find out the right words, Myles, to keep your voice intact because you're like sore throats, everything. You get really like caught up. What are some ways to really exercise just those muscles that you have?
Listen, all my singers out there, traditional medicinals make lovely teas, and they have one called Throat Coat. They have one with lemon echinacea, and they also have one with eucalyptus. Get either one. Throat Coat, get you some Singer's Professional Spray as well. What you need to be doing though is warming up and cooling down.
Yeah.
And it's just like an engine, okay? You don't start your car and just go in the wintertime. I mean, you can, but you should give it at least 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? You need to do the same thing. When you wake up, warm that voice up. Keep your voice warm, you know, and also don't jump right into singing. You need to have a tonal vocal warm up where you're just speaking first and then ease your way into humming and then ease your way into singing and then warm it up and then cool it down to keep it going because you don't want to get rid of all that hard work you just did by warming up, you know? Gotcha. And that's what I tell my students, warm up, cool down. If you're a runner and you're running a marathon, you can't just stop immediately. Your heart's going to stop.
Yeah.
They cool themselves down. They jog. So you need to do the same thing after you've been singing so hard. Go somewhere, sit down and hum. Okay, that's what you need to do.
See, that is completely the opposite of everything I've ever been taught as a rock singer. To get drunk, smoke a half a pack of cigarettes, sing, and then take a nap. I thought that was what we were supposed to do. I have no idea what I'm doing now.
You gotta incorporate a warm up and a cool down. You get a little warm up and a cool down in there. You're good. You're good. Yeah.
Kind of like the Song of Music. One of my favorite movies. As I was a little kid. How she. Correct me, was practicing with the kids and they were just humming at first and then they were just random hummings and then they introduced the song and then they slow down the singing. Talk about the cooling down. It's
exactly
that whole practice and function. Go ahead, Easy. I see a light bulb on top of your head.
How long have we known each other, Preston?
We have known each other for almost a decade soon.
How come this is the first time ever hearing that one of your favorite movies was The Sound of Music?
Oh,
why have we not had Sound of Music parties? Like, for real.
I think I don't want a Sound of Music party with you. No offense, brother. It's okay. I don't think we should have a Sound of Music party. That's for another time. But right now, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about Myles right now.
We're going to talk later. We're going to talk. So you have some explaining to do, Lucy. You have some explaining to do.
I'll definitely do a lot of explaining to you after this broadcast. So this is Myles' time. Listen. But since I want to learn more, Myles, tell me about these bilingual tours. What is a bilingual tour? What do I expect out of a bilingual tour? Tell me that experience as part of the audience. What is it? Tell me.
It's an immersive experience of educational theater where you will see a story or a few storylines, maybe even, and they are in English and another language. The ones that I have done were in Spanish and English. And so there will be, in the tours that I did, we had moments where in each scene, we'll do it in English, come to a point, stop, play some rewind music, go back, and then do it in Spanish.
Oh, man.
Or we'll do it in Spanish first, stop, rewind, then do it in English. And then pick up where we left off. So it was a lot of fun and it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, it does.
And it allows you to really hone in on two different languages, really. And then also emoting through two different languages. Because, you know, certain words do not resonate the same in different languages. And so it really challenged me to explore more of not just the language, but how it sat and felt inside of my body and with me as well, using different flavors, you know, and really adding that spice to create an amazing dish called Don Quixote and Mornings of April and May. Those were the two bilingual tours that I toured. And I got to see 23 states out of 50 with that. Yeah. I had a different show every day, literally every day. I was in a new state every day. Yeah.
Wow. That's
We're on this
amazing.
show Behind the Brand on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and to my right on my computer, Mr. Easy Blues, Long Island Rays, Elm City Made. Myles Tripp is on the show. And no day was the same when it came to those bilingual tours, was it? No day at all.
Oh my goodness. I mean, there were times where I had to sing.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just, you got to do it. You got to do it. I was singing in English and in Spanish. So it was just like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? And how do I fit this and really feel it? And I really had to sit down. I distinctly remember just listening and studying some great, amazing Latin artists too, and watching their stage presence and how they related to certain words and how they rolled off their tongues. And but I had to put that work in. Listen, you got to sing, you got to act, you got to do the whole nine. And then on top of that, I had to also put the whole set together. Get the stuff ready. We were the tech crew and the actors, okay? And then on the second one, I was the tech crew, the actor, the road manager, stage manager, rather. I mean, like I was doing it, keeping in contact with different venues and event spaces. I mean, had to do the whole nine. But I loved it. I really loved it.
No time and a half, no overtime, no special benefits.
Oh my goodness.
No extra stimulus check coming through for those tours.
Yeah. No. A high five and a handshake.
High five and a handshake.
High five and a handshake and my contracted pay. That was it.
Well, it's really, really interesting, and I love having artists on. And you are such a multifaceted artist that I have the amazing question to ask. Usually when I have some of the more hardcore punk rock musicians, I want to know what their guilty pleasure is on their playlist. But I don't want that from you. What I want to know, I'm gonna probably get back to that anyway because you just made a really big face, so that means it's gonna be a fun answer. But who is your top inspiration when it comes to acting, and then what is that one role that if you could give anything, and I'm talking about like Preston's kidney, if you give Preston's kidney to play this role, what role would that be?
Okay. So I have two. The top actresses are Whoopi Goldberg and Angela Bassett. And Whoopi Goldberg, I fell in love with her from Sister Act. I mean, I know that thing entirely by heart. Purple Mink. The man gave me his wife's coat. Connie LaRocca. You don't earn another man's wife's fur coat. No, but I mean, I just loved it. And then Angela Bassett was robbed. She deserves 4 Oscars for her role as Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It. And I mean, give her flowers immediately and apologize, Oscars. But seeing that, I would love to. Also, I would say for dream roles, I have a stage one, and then I have 2 stage roles that I would love to play. Preston, I would have to donate your kidney in order for me to play Lola in the revival of Kinky Boots, and I would really want Billy Porter to pass the torch to me. And so that would be first. I would definitely do Lola and Kinky Boots, and then I might have to shiv you in the courtyard and take your lung to donate it to the role of Mama in Gypsy Rose. I would just love it. Someone tell me, when is it my turn? Don't I get it? I had a dream. I dreamed it for you, June. I would just love to do that. And I shout out to Bernadette Peters and Patti LuPone for really, killing that role on Broadway in Gypsy Rose. I watched Bernadette Peters perform that with acute laryngitis at the Tonys, and she smashed it. I mean, amazing. And then also, I would love to play a biopic of Aretha Franklin. Like I really want to do. I know everybody else is doing it, but I want to do it because I would just love to put my own take on that. And then also I wouldn't mind doing a biopic of someone like maybe Kurt Franklin. I wouldn't mind because we're the same height and I could do his little dances. But yeah, I would probably say those, but there are so many. There really are so many, but those are the ones that come directly to mind. Or at least let me voice Aretha Franklin. I want to do voiceover work.
Myles, Sister Act 1 or 2, which is better?
Sister Act 1. Sister Act 1. Listen, I know all of the stars and glorious people that showed up and made appearances in number 2. And I think it is amazing. 2 chef's kisses for, Sister Act 2. But there is nothing like the comedic timing and the delivery of Sister Act 1. And also just the genuineness of her story too, of Dolores Vincartier's story. I just loved being able to bask in like who this lounge singer was and like, what is this life, But so I would definitely say number 1. Yeah. What about you?
We differ. I like the whole competition factor of Sister Act 2. I like them going at it.
Right, fair.
You see all the youth voices. It's just amazing to see in that one.
Yeah.
So I'll always go with Sister Act 2. That's my favorite out of both movies. I wish they had a trilogy. I want
to. That's okay. Now that's the role I would give my kidney for. Is to literally. Honestly, literally sit everything I just said on the back burner and literally only put this one for it. Brother Act. Hear me out. Brother,
okay. Let's do it.
I would just be the Dolores Vincartier, and same concept, but it's just me. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it.
In a monastery, I'm totally in. Like, let's start writing this. This would be amazing. Like no joke. I could sit there. Well, we could definitely, you have to get put into a monastery, which is just even funnier because they got to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and they got to be silent. You trying to be silent for an entire day. Oh my God. There. That's 3 scenes right there.
I know.
Amazing. And then go from like the Gregorian chant, go from the Gregorian chant into like some pop tunes. Oh no, it writes itself. It absolutely writes itself.
I'm telling you, it would
live on TikTok, Brother Act. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a whole thing.
Trademark, copywritten. Yes. Yes.
It's great that you copyright that idea now. Myles, we only got about 4 minutes left for just an actual mic time, and then we're gonna play your song at the very end of the show. Please tell everybody what upcoming events that you have this year. Please promote your vocal coaching and your social media, and please give us an introduction into Blue Willow. I know I just gave you a lot of assignments all at one time, but I know you can do your best at it. Go right ahead. The time is yours.
Make me believe you.
Listen, folks, my name is Myles Tripp. Listen, spell that with me. MYLES TRIPP. You can find me on all social media by searching at Myles, MYLES _TRIPP. Okay. You can find me Instagram, Twitter, all of it. Even you can even find me on Tumblr. Okay. YouTube, everywhere. Also, there is newer music coming out very soon. Okay, I am working with some amazing, amazing artists. I am still staying international, so you are not going to get me out of your heads. I am here to stay. Please visit my website, www.mylestripp.com, for any other updates and all new news about what's going on as well. And please join me as we listen to Blue Willow, my latest single, my international single from Italy, hailing all the way from Italy. Please join me in listening to Blue Willow. Download, buy, stream, like it, save it now.
I know you're practicing voiceover work, but that was really good.
That was really good.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Myles Tripp, Behind the Brand on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, New Haven. Thank you very much.
Your
location had me in amazement of your fine body and iniquities of mind, and those lips of yours and your thick thighs. See, that's why I try not to stall, to hurry and give you a call, to ask you once and for all if you would be my one and all. You see, you brighten up my day, I see you smiling round away. I wouldn't mind if you stayed. Just do me a favor and stay.
Baby, can I pick a field of you? Drench me in the swatches of your youth. Feel you, crave you like the morning dew. 'Cause you satisfy my every desire.
Your promotion of devotion stirred up all of my emotions. You left no room for emotion. Then all of took her like a potion, causing all kinds of commotion. And then I couldn't fathom the notion of you being with someone else. You see, you brighten up my day, I see you smiling round away. I wouldn't mind if you stayed.
Baby, can I pick a field of you? Drench me in the swatches of your youth. Feel you, crave you like the morning dew. 'Cause you satisfy my every desire.
There's no need to worry, baby, I'ma make you feel alright, feel alright. No need to worry, baby, I'ma make you feel alright. There's no need to worry, baby, I'ma make you feel alright, feel alright. No need to worry, baby, I'ma make you feel alright.